friends, thanks for joining me for part 2 of what I think might be a flip-flop journal. I know for sure it's a beach theme. So today you can see that I've got the spine put into the journal. I simply used masking tape to create the spine and then tape it to the journal. That is the section where we'll be adding some papers to it. So I've got some vintage envelopes that we prepped last week that have papers inside of them. And then I've got things like this, which is a vintage bank statement. I've got some graph paper and some other papers. So I'm just basically cutting my papers to size so that they will fit properly inside of the journal. I even have a Holiday Inn receipt that's totally vintage. Look at it. I love it. And that says vacation on it. So this is a beach journal, and I just thought that that would be perfect. I didn't actually count how many pages I was going to put in the journal. I just grabbed a bunch that I felt like the colors would work well together. And then I just started stacking them in a pile just to sort of eyeball how many would fit with the size spine that I have. And I do believe I cut the spine to be about an inch to an inch and a quarter, and I think more like an inch and a quarter. This piece right here was created by my friend Carol of Crafted by Carol. It is one of her gel plate pages. I'm cutting that to size. On any of the pages that are decorative on one side but plain on the other, I'm going to take the time to go ahead and do some stenciling on them. That way they're not just plain, but you can still write over them, or you could still adhere a photograph or a ticket to something, whatever you were going to memory keep. I have some favorite stencils that I use more frequently than my other stencils, and this one I love. And I frequently just use it because it's got the polka dots on it. Certainly they're in the shape of a flower, but I don't always do my stenciling in that shape. I just use it and then move it around. But anyway, it's nice to get a little bit of color on the plain side of the paper. I have this beautiful mermaid stamp. I'm going to take this aqua colored ink that I have, and I'm going to press that on the stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and imprint that on this stenciled paper. I have another piece of paper that is decorative on one side and plain on the other, and so I don't want to leave this one plain either. So I've grabbed some purple ink, and I'm going to use a die and use that as a stencil. I think using stencils is a great way to decorate a piece of paper without overwhelming it. Stencils typically can be written over with no problem at all. Certainly you could glue a photo over top of them. So they're really nice because I'm not stuck with a plain page, but I also don't have a page that's like too dark or too overwhelming or too bulky or anything like that. You can see I'm being a bit random with the stencil and just moving around just to get some of the pattern onto the paper. And now I figured I'd go ahead and use some stamps. So I have these cute little flamingo stamps, and they were given to me in Happy Mail. And there's cabanas here that you can see. So I figured I'd go ahead and use some aqua color ink and stamp down these cabanas. I have another die that I'm going to use as a stencil, and it's also one of my favorites. You've probably seen me use this frequently. It's super cool because it fits right into a corner, and so I use it a lot for that. So I've got my blue ink, because remember this is a beachy, mermaidy, coastal journal. So I'm using a certain color palette, and aqua is definitely one of the colors to use. So you can see how this stencil, it's much smaller pieces. They fit perfectly into the corner. It just adds a little decoration, again, without being overwhelming. On this one, I feel like I'd like some of those polka dots on the page, so I've picked that stencil up, and I'm just gonna pop it around on the page and get some of those on there, again, being pretty random about it. I've decided also to use some of the purple ink. All right, I feel like I've got all these pages ready to go. I'm going to get them in order, and then I'm going to go ahead and sew them into the journal. While I'm working on getting these pages in order, I just want to update you on a couple of things. I want to mention to you that I am working on a bird journal for my Road to 4K giveaway, and I'm not sure when I'm going to post this video, but I have extended my giveaway to about August 28th, and I had to do that because the journal's nowhere close to being done. And I thought I'd be able to work on it a lot this weekend, but that didn't work out because we were celebrating my daughter's birthday, which is awesome. But then we also had a tropical storm, which actually caused some damage at my house. And there was just some things that I had to deal with. And so that's taking up, time, of course, to get things put back together the way that they should be. And so I'm really glad actually that I had decided to extend it because it's definitely going to take me longer to get back to that and get back to working on that journal. But I'm using my Birds digital kit, which is really pretty, and I'm actually making two journals, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I can pull this off or not, but if I can get them both done by the time I do the draw, then the winner can pick whichever journal they want. I may or may not be able to get both of them done. But if I can, then it'll be winner's choice. And if I can't, then the winner will get the one that I got done. And then I'm going to have two more winners, and those two winners will be receiving 3 digital kits from my Etsy shop of their choosing. I also want to mention that coming up in September is the Gothic Girls collaboration, and we're going to have, a lot of collaborators. I can't remember the exact number. I think 20? Yeah, I think we're going to have 20 collaborators, and we'd love for you to join in as well. Just so that you know, I will have some freebies available in my Facebook group, Creating with Jovi Journals and Crafts. And you can go over there and get some free Gothic Girl freebies so that you can join along if you'd like to. I also have a Gothic Girl digital kit that I created that is also available in my Etsy shop. And so if you'd like to create along with us using the digital kit, that is available. And it's going to be on sale during the month of September. This section of the journal is, you can see here, I've got my ruler, so I'm going to mark the holes, and then I will mark my paper. This is going to be one signature. I sometimes mark and I sometimes don't, but I'm definitely marking on this because I want it to line up straight. So that's why I am marking it. One signature is fairly easy. If you've never sewn in a signature, I suggest that you just grab some scrap paper. For practicing, you can use any sort of thread that you wanted to. It could be embroidery thread, it could be wax thread, which is what I use. Pretty much anything. If you can thread it through a needle, then you can practice with it. And I would just grab one piece of paper and I would go ahead and practice that way. So the first thing you do is pop a hole in the center, and you can see I popped my needle there. And then I poked a hole where my finger is, and I'm putting the needle back through that hole. And then the third hole we put down here at the bottom, and I poke it through the paper, as you can see, but also the journal. Now I'm grabbing that needle and I'm putting it through there. Then I'm going to go back through the middle hole. And once I get through there, and sometimes I have to look through the papers to make sure the needle is going through properly. And you'll see I'll sometimes do that one page at a time just to make sure everything is moving the way that it should. And you can sort of see the needle there as I'm working these pages through, and we're almost to the center. And there we go. I think that was the center. There's the center. Okay, I think. Wait, maybe not. There we go. So you're going to pull it up there. You want to make sure that one piece of your thread is on one side of that center line and the other piece of thread is on the other side of that center line. Pull it tight, check it on the back like I did, make sure that's tight, and then you're going to tie it. And I recommend tying it off 3 times, and then take something, you can see here I'm smashing that wax glue down, or wax thread down, and it melds that glue together and keeps it from coming untied. So there we go, we have got that tied in place. Now we can continue on with putting this fun interactive journal together. Part 3 of this series, we are going to go ahead and put pockets in, and so I hope you can join me for that. Thanks for watching. See you soon.